Modern American culture caused many difficulties with the Christian church. Many of the issues that modern culture focused on seemed anti-biblical or anti-Christian, causing what sociologist James Hunter Davison has labeled culture wars. One issue, which is still an important issue today, is the Protestant stance on homosexuality. In 211, St. Augustine penned a letter in which he said he loved the sinner but hated the sin. Since that time, this phrase has been voiced by many, including Gandhi. It has even been misattributed to Jesus. While this phrase is not recorded in the Bible, it is made clear that God abhors all evil and that we should do likewise. Yet he calls us to love others and to not speak evil against anyone. Since the beginning of Christianity, churches have been forced to take a stance on tough issues. For Paul, that meant deciding on kosher eating and the need of Gentiles to be circumcised. Homosexuality is just another in a long list of issues that church leaders have been forced to face, but it is also one of the most divisive issues of modern times. The fight for gay and lesbian rights really began with the Stonewall riots in 1969. In that same year, the United Church of Christ became the first mainline denomination to speak out on homosexuality. They stated, "The time is long overdue for our churches to be enlisted in the cause of justice and compassion for homosexual persons." Homosexuality has been the issue of debate in the 6 largest mainline denominations since the 1970s, but each denomination and sometimes each church have their own stance. Church leaders have been given the opportunity to shape public opinion on this issue and many others. Congregations have shown great interest in this debate as their lives are often affected by it, which requires pastors to discuss it. Many clergy, however, choose to talk about the issue before they're even asked, which shows just how important it really is. Presbyterian ministers have admitted that they felt they had to discuss the issue because of the visibility of the national debate. In a survey of 30 pastors from the Presbyterian, Lutheran, and United Methodist Church done by Wendy Cage and Christopher Wildman in 2008, most pastors tended to address the issue of homosexuality with a sense of fear. Fear of discussing sexuality, fear of homosexuality, fear of interpreting the Bible incorrectly, and fear of the unknown. By admitting this fear, the pastors make the issue of homosexuality a more personal one rather than an institutional one. This study also found that pastors tended to fit into 2 major groups, facilitators and advocates. Facilitators are most concerned with education, and so seek to create a safe space for people to learn and openly and honestly discuss homosexuality. Advocates are those that focus on change, either within their specific church or denomination or within the broader social context. Most advocate pastors tend to focus on the impact of the issue on their church rather than the larger social significance, but some do seek to make large-scale cultural changes. An example of this would be the beginning of the RIC, or Reconciling in Christ Congregations, which openly accept homosexual members. A study done by Capinas, Cross, and Flower found that, generally speaking, mainline denominations call for more dialogue on homosexuality, while more evangelical and African-American Protestant denominations tend to condemn it and emphasize a more biblical message of marriage. Besides the message that Protestant denominations speak about homosexuality, there are also issues of how the church should specifically deal with it. Should homosexuals be allowed to become members? Should marriage or commitment services be performed in the churches? And perhaps most importantly, should homosexuals be allowed to be leaders of the church? Gene Robinson was the first openly gay Episcopal bishop. As a result, some Episcopal congregations chose to cut ties with the denomination. Elizabeth Stroud was the first openly lesbian minister in the United Methodist Church. She was tried for her beliefs, and while she was allowed to remain at her church as a lay minister, she lost the right to celebrate communion, weddings, or baptisms with church members. The debate on homosexuality continues to today. Different denominations have taken different stances on the topic, but the church as a whole must address the issue because of the important role that they play in American culture. Protestant churches are going to continue to face such tough issues if they really do wish to engage and transform American culture in uplifting and God-honoring ways.